let's have a Civics Bee. I'm Robin Anderson with the Mason City Chamber of Commerce, and over here is Colleen Frein, who's the Vice President at the Chamber. Welcome to the inaugural North Iowa Civics Bee. We're honored to be among the 6 pilot communities in the entire nation hosting this event in partnership with the United States Chamber of Commerce. And since we are the first of the 6 to host the Bee, we have representatives from the U.S. Chamber that flew out to join us this afternoon. I'd like to introduce Hillary Crow, Vice President with the U.S. Chamber Foundation, Caitlin Thomas, who's the Senior Director with the U.S. Chamber Foundation, and Pamela Wilson, also a Senior Director with the U.S. Chamber Foundation. Thank you so much. We're excited to host this North Iowa Civics Bee to help inspire us to think about what we can do for our region and our city and our community, and how we can be more active in shaping the future of our neighborhoods and our nation. Studies have shown a decline in civics education nationwide in recent years that has coincided with a waning civics literacy, dwindling trust in a range of public institutions, and an intensifying polarization among various segments of Americans. In fact, a recent survey reported that only 56% of American adults could name all 3 branches of government. A shocking 20% could not name a single branch. While we know that is not going to be the case here today, I'd like to say a special thank you to Sukup Manufacturing for sponsoring this event. We appreciate their partnership and their understanding of the importance of civics education. 2 people who understand the fundamentals of civics have messages for us today. First, we'll hear from U.S. Senator Charles Grassley. Okay, first we'll hear from U.S. Senator Joni Ernst.
Hello everyone, this is Senator Joni Ernst, Junior Senator from the great state of Iowa. I want to say good luck to all of those folks that are participating in the North Iowa Civics Bee, sponsored by your Mason City Chamber of Commerce. Civics is extremely important, and it was one of my favorite topics when I was in high school. And when I got into the Iowa State Senate, of course, civics came in so handy. But what I want you to know is that I really enjoyed working across the aisle. Republicans and Democrats working together to find solutions for Iowans. We always would go back to the back of the chamber, to the bench that we called Joni's bench, so that we could work and partner on laws that would better the lives of Iowans. And you'll learn all about that in civics. So again, good luck to everyone who is participating in the Civics Bee. God bless you all, and of course, God bless our great state of Iowa.
Message from Senator Grassley too, but this is a pilot program and we're unable to go back, so we're going to move ahead. And next, I'm going to introduce our judges for this event. Today's judges are Aaron Burnett, City Administrator of the City of Mason City. Sukup Manufacturing, and Josh Congello with the Papa John's Private. overseeing today's bee, and they're an instrumental part of round 3. Thank you each for being here today. Now I'll introduce our MC for today, John Lee. Many of you recognize Mr. Lee as an American history and government educator at Mason City High School. He's also served more than 11 years as a councilperson for the city of Mason City, and we could think of no better person to oversee this event. John?
Thank you for coming today. I'd also like to thank 5 preliminary judges that were responsible for reading and scoring all the essays that students submitted. They are Tiffany Nonweiler, Bennett Smith, Jessica Tierney, Gary Watnam, and Donna Willitson. A round of applause for our preliminary judges. We already skipped one. Now I'm super nervous. Thanks, Vern. You're not the only ones nervous sitting up here. I promise you that. Thank you. Good afternoon and welcome to North Iowa Civics Bee. First, I'd like to also say congratulations and thank you to all the students who submitted essays. Maybe they're not up here today, but please, again, give yourself a round of applause. Now, let's introduce our finalists. So, we'll do a round of applause at the end. Sophia Ohari, Tad Bowman, Leah Dykstra, Olivia Graff, Allison Long, Ambrose Long, Liliana Martinez, Piper Phillips, Dean Rewerts, and Caitlin Bangaraj. Give them a round of applause. Good luck to all of you, and I will go over some of the rules. Just review one last time. Rounds 1 and 2, all finalists will answer the same multiple choice questions within the allotted time. All questions from rounds 1 and 2 are borrowed from the National Assessment of Educational Progress Civics Assessments. Each question and possible answers will be read aloud, and a 30-second timer will begin. Each correct answer will count as 1 point. Incorrect answers and answers not submitted will count as 0 points. On the side of your screen, we'll see the leaderboard. The 3 finalists within the highest scores at the end of round 2 will advance to round 3. If there is a tie, we will have a overtime, 3 questions. Audience members, I know it's going to be hard for some of you to resist, but please, no answers or shouting out anything. So, are we all ready to begin? The time has come. Take a deep breath, because I'm nervous too. All right. Round 1. We already did introduction. Oh, you're right. Yes. You're right. Your tablet. Thank you. We'll call that. Everybody else see it on there?
You might want to throw out the screen.
Maybe have to tell a story quick. I missed the opportunity to talk for a second. Dang it. All right, first question is a video question.
July 4th is a national holiday. that celebrates the day when A, the American colonies declared their independence, B, the Pilgrims arrived in the New World, C, women won the right to vote in elections, D, the Civil War officially ended.
You'll now have 25 seconds to put in your correct answer. Correct answer, the American colonies declared their independence. Any comments? Side note, the actual vote was on July 2nd, not July 4th, so therefore we should celebrate for 3 days. Which of these people make local laws? Police officers, A, police officers, B, newspaper reporters, C, members of the city councils, and D, business leaders. Correct answer, members of city councils. Really? Is that what I do? All right, 5 seconds. We'll go on to question number 3. In the United States, people who are arrested have the right to A, stay in a private cell, B, choose a judge, C, talk to a lawyer, or D, refuse to wear handcuffs. Correct answer, talk to a lawyer. I'll give you one right there. Question number 4. Which of the following is true about laws in the United States? Laws A, laws must be applied to everyone equally. B, judges can make laws. C, large states make more laws than small states. Or D, it takes 2 years for a law to go into effect. 30 seconds. Correct answer is A, laws must be applied to everyone equally. I'm getting nervous up here. It's like in my head, I'm like, I think I know the answer. Well, I give the information, but it'd be wrong. Which event is Rosa Parks associated with? A, a protest against the Vietnam War. B, a speech in favor of religious tolerance. C, a demonstration in favor of women's right to vote. Or D, a boycott of the buses in Montgomery, Alabama. correct answer is D, the boycott of the buses in Montgomery, Alabama. Side note, she was only 42. So many people think she was so much older. Question number 6. What are both citizens and non-citizens legally entitled to in the United States? A, to run for public office. B, to have a United States passport. C, to have the protection of our laws. Or D, to vote in primary elections. Question is C, to have the protection of our laws. 14th Amendment, recurring theme. Peace treaties are usually signed by A, cities, B, townships, C, states, D, countries. Correct answer is D, countries. Give me a applause. Oh, you're fine. Then we'll give, States theoretically could go into a treaty, by the way, according to Article 1, Section 10, I believe. I'm going to look at Mr. Smith on this one. I believe it's the 10th section of Article 1 that they could, as long as they have permission from the federal government. Never happens, but theoretically. You good? Question number 8. In general, which of these people have a term of office? A, elected officials. B, police officers. C, secretaries, D, school teachers. The correct answer, A, elected officials. This is where I got 4, got 3 more. Next question. What are the 3 parts of the federal national government of the United States? A, Republican, Democratic, Independent. B, legislative, executive, and judicial. C, local, state, and federal, or D, state, national, and international. Correct answer is B. I always got to make sure. Legislative, executive, and judicial. Our last question for round 1. question number 10. Which of the following kinds of organizations would most likely be involved in protecting people's right to have a safe workplace? A, a political party, B, a parent-teacher association, C, a labor union, or D, a charity? Correct answer is C, a labor union. Let's bring us to an end of round 1. Okay, and when we get here, I'll take a pause and let everybody, if you need a drink for just a couple seconds. We'll get into round 2. Just so everybody knows, you can see the leader score there. It's a barn burner. And the second round of questions would become from grade 8 of Nate's questions. The first one, I don't know if we said this out loud, but it was 4th grade NAEP standards. Now we move on to 8th grade level. We get the water. We'll move on to round 2. Which of the following is an example of people using power without having the right to do so? A, the owner of a newspaper prints their own opinions in the newspaper. B, a governor vetoes a bill passed by the state legislature. C, a group of people against nuclear power march outside a nuclear power plant. Or D, a police officer arrests someone because the person looks suspicious. The answer is D. The police officer arrests someone because the person looks suspicious. Going on to question 2. Which of the following is a problem that could not be solved by one nation alone? A, national debt. B, government corruption. C, highway traffic. D, ocean pollution. Correct answer is D, ocean pollution. Schoolhouse Rock, ocean pollution sounds similar. Next question is a video I will play.
We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all people are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, that to secure these rights, governments are instituted among people, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed, that whenever any form of government becomes destructive to these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or abolish it and to institute new government, laying its foundation on such principles and organizing its powers in such form as to them shall seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness.
according to the passage, the most important purpose of government is to protect A, people from harm, B, the church, C, the truth, D, people's rights. Correct answer, let's see, D, people's rights. Next question. What do all constitutional governments have? A, legal limits on political power. B, a president as the head of government. C, a Bill of Rights. D, separation of church and state. The correct answer is A, legal limits on political power. As we move on to question 5, there's a 5-way tie for first. I apologize. Which activity is an example of civil society rather than an example of government? A, the sanitation department picks up Town X's garbage every Monday morning. B, the school board of Town X decides on its yearly budget. C, a builder in Town X asks the planning board to approve his plans for housing development. Or D, the places of worship in Town X join together to provide food and shelter for the homeless. Correct answer is D, the places of worship in Town X join together to provide food and shelter for the homeless. 5 questions left and remaining. Question number 6. The United States Congress can pass a bill even if the President disagrees with the bill because A, Congress must make sure that the needs of the citizens are met. B, Congress can make laws more quickly when it does not have to involve the President. C, Congress usually knows more about the laws, what the laws mean than the President does. Or D, Congress is the primary legislative power of the government. The answer is D. Congress is the primary legislative power of the government. We will go on to question number 7. Imagine that a person was convicted of stealing a candy bar and sentenced to 50 years in prison. He or she might challenge the sentence by citing the A, First Amendment, B, Fifth Amendment, C, 8th Amendment, D, 9th Amendment. Correct answer, C, the 8th Amendment. We are moving on to question number 8. Who is primarily responsible for carrying out United States foreign policy? A, the governors of the states. B, the State Department. C, the Supreme Court. Or D, the Treasury Department. The correct answer is B, the State Department. We have 2 questions remaining. The number of electoral votes each state is allotted is based on the state's A, size, B, representation in Congress, C, average income, D, number of years as a state. Correct answer is B, representation in Congress. And if you look at that map, it is out of date for the 2024 election. The Electoral College has been reapportioned. Question number 10. In the United States, what do labor unions, civil rights groups, business associations, and environmental organizations all have in common? A, they try to influence public policy and get people elected. B, they share the same ideas about political issues. C, they are all funded by the federal government. D, they have to pay state and federal taxes. Final question for round 2. The correct answer is A, they try to influence public policy and get people elected. As right now, our leaders, we have, well, I'm sure it'll pop up, but 2 tied for first and 2 tied for third and fourth. There's your leaderboard. So that will go into round 3, but before we do round 3, we will have 3 questions. That'll be kind of overtime rules, okay, for only, if I'm not mistaken, Leah and Sophia. Is this correct? Right? What? Oh, they don't see it there? Oh, sure, I can do that. I'm sorry, I apologize. For first and second, with 20 questions apiece, Liliana and Caitlin. Tied for third with 19 points is Leah and Sophia. outstanding job for the rest of you, 5th through 10th. Olivia, Allison, Ambrose, Piper, Dean, and Tad. A round of applause, please. The 3 questions I just followed. So this is for only Leah and Sophia to answer. Everybody else can, again, do the best you can. Everybody else can answer in their head, but this is for Leah and Sophia. The primary purpose of the Bill of Rights was to A, limit the spread of slavery in the United States, B, limit the power of the federal government, C, establish judicial review, or D, allot specific powers to the states. The correct answer is B, limit the power of the federal government. We'll go on to question number 2. Which statement about making of the United States foreign policy is accurate? A, state governments, through their ability to negotiate independent trade agreements, have preeminent authority in making foreign policy. B, the Senate, because of its power of treaty ratification, has more power in setting foreign policy than does the President. C, the Supreme Court, because it can rule on the constitutionality of executive actions, dominates foreign policy. D, Congress and the courts have some authority over foreign policy, but the President and the State Department have the greatest authority. The correct answer is D. Congress and the courts have some authority over foreign policy. The President and the State Department have the greatest authority. Moving on to our final question, still at 21. What happens to most of the bills introduced in the House of Representatives? A, they become laws. B, they are passed but then vetoed by the President. C, they are passed by the House but not by the Senate. D, they are never sent by committee to the full House. And again, the answer is D. They're never sent by committee to the full House, which brings us to a tie at the end of overtime. We're going to allow all 4 to move on to the finals. So afraid to hit next. It's crazy. So nervous to hit that. Okay. Finalists. Okay, are your screens on? And are ready to play. Okay. Actually, go ahead. What's that? Round three. First off, let's congratulate the other 6 finalists. They did a fantastic job. of round 3. The 3 remaining finalists may use their note cards that they brought as prep. Each finalist will provide a short summary of their essay topic. Each finalist will have 3 minutes to answer a question from the judges. They will receive time cues at 1 minute, 30 seconds, and when their time is up. The judges will evaluate the answers based on civic knowledge, clarity, and use of evidence. Judges' scores will be added to the finalist totals from rounds 1 and 2. Finalists and judges, are you ready? First up, looking at here, we'll go with Sophia. Yep. Sophia, can you introduce yourself? Come up here. Introduce yourself and share a short summary of your essay topic.
Hi, my name is Sophia Hari, and my essay topic was about uneven trails on the less known trails in my neighborhood.
Thank you. Let's hand it over to the judges.
Hi. My question would be for you, how can local citizens, including students, get involved?
The main way local citizens and students can get involved with this project is by showing their support for my idea. The more people that I have backing my goal, the more likely it'll be finished.
I do have a follow-up question for that. What do you think would be the most effective way to get people to support your idea?
I think the most effective way to get people to support my idea would be talking to local business leaders to get the word out or to put up posters to let the public know.
Thank you, Sophia. Give her a round of applause. Next, we'll go with Leah. Leah, can you come up to the microphone, introduce yourself, and share a short summary of your essay topic?
I'm Leah Dykstra, and I wrote about the huge problem of vandalism in my community.
Hi, Leah, I'm Josh. What would you say the biggest challenge is to your solution for vandalism in North Spring?
Two of the biggest challenges we have are expenses, because everything that we would need to catch the people who are doing the vandalism would all cost money. And also, even if we had security cameras in the parks, you still couldn't really be able to see the person's face, and you wouldn't be able to identify them.
Thank you, Leah. Please give her a round of applause. Next is Caitlin. Caitlin, can you introduce yourself? Come up to the microphone, introduce yourself, and share again what's a short summary of your essay topic.
My name is Caitlin Bangaraj, and my essay was about improving bicycle transportation in Mason City through the use of armadillo lane dividers.
Hello. What do you believe, what is the biggest challenge to building your solution?
I would say the biggest challenge to the use of armadillo lane dividers in Mason City would be installation and removal, especially in winter months. Some people may be concerned about snowplows having a roadblock through armadillo lane dividers, and I believe that this isn't the biggest challenge, but it could be solved because armadillo lane dividers are really easy to install and remove. According to bikeDollar.org, compared to a concrete curb or other more ambitious dividers for protected bike lanes, the armadillo is cheap and easy to install. So this shows that it has been tested, and armadillo lane dividers, through its challenges, could still be a great addition to Mason City.
Just one follow-up question. What resources would be involved in executing your idea?
Of course, one major resource would be funding, which can possibly be made through the Cerro Gordo Community Foundation grant, which gives $3,000 to $10,000 if we apply under the community betterment category. And the resource that Armadillo Lane dividers would be made from is recycled plastic and rubber, which makes it really environmentally friendly. And a person who would be a great resource for my project would be Mr. Bill Stangler, who is Operations and Maintenance Manager here at Mason City, and he would be a great resource for me to talk to and help with the installation process.
Thank you.
Thank you, Caitlin. Now we'll have Liliana come up. Liliana, please come up to the microphone. Once again, introduce yourself and give us a short summary of your essay topic.
Hi, I'm Liliana Martinez, and the issue that I have identified in Mason is the lack of activities and entertainment.
All right. What is the biggest challenge to building your solution?
The biggest challenge, I believe, would be awareness, and I believe we could help doing this as a school district community with making brochures and articles, or fundraising as a after-school program and getting children more active in their community.
One follow-up question. What are different points of view on what causes the problem or how it can be solved?
How it can be solved is with private investments, and that would tie into awareness with kids with their articles, brochures, and fundraisers.
Thank you.
Thank you, Liliana. As the judges tally the results, believe. As the results are being tallied and everybody is working behind the scenes, thank you to the students and what you guys have done. This takes great courage, and honestly, so does civics. So you guys have what it takes to be some really productive citizens of whatever community in your future, and whoever's lucky enough to have you guys in your future. So thank you for everything you did and taking the risk.
So I'm going to have Mr. Lee stay up here, and we're going to present the awards to the 6 finalists. First, Tad Bowman. Parents want to take a picture, feel free to come on. Next, Olivia Black. We'll present the finalist award to Allison Long. Our next award is for Ambrose Long. Piper Phillips. And our final finalist award for Dean Greenwood. We'd like to just take this moment as the final tallies are being totaled. Make sure we don't have a caucus rerun of 2020. Sorry. We're going to talk to Dean real quick. And Dean, can you come back up here real quick? Reason Dean can come back up, regardless of how today went, he went ahead and started this project. And he has a working model of what he's doing around the town. And a lot of us have seen those little public libraries around town. He's making those, but with a civics-minded theme. Give him a round of applause. Be waiting for him. That's what's like that. Except for my football. Okay. I'm sure this was a very close and well done. First off, as we have time, let's give a round of applause to people behind the scenes, especially Mason City Chamber of Commerce and the National Chamber of Commerce. I told the story twice, I'll tell it one more time, maybe I should or shouldn't, but I'm gonna, just because anybody who knows Robin Anderson knows my answer. This morning, I don't always dress up in a tie, okay? I'm usually a polo kind of guy. So when I walked up in a tie today, my students would quickly, any teacher knows, if you dress anything out of the norm, they want to know why. And so I quickly said I had the honor and privilege of being MC host to the first National Civics Bee. And they're like, what do you mean first? I'm like, we're the first, there's 6 of us doing, but the first one in the nation. You can imagine senior high school kids instantly go, what? Really? Why would we be first? My simple answer, nobody else, it was simply because we have Robin Anderson. Thank you. You know, just looked at me like that meant something, but I know what it means. Come on up. You know, we're so happy to have all of you in the audience that took the time to write an essay, and we're glad that you can be here today. And if you're a 6th grader or a 7th grader, we are really hoping this will become an annual event, and so we'd like to see some of you up on that stage next year along with your classmates. So, do we have the envelope? We have the final. Okay. Awards that we ordered. The accounting firm out of Elkmont
From out of LA, isn't it? With fourth place in the first National North Iowa Civics Bee. Congratulations to Liliana Martinez. Third place, and I should make sure I don't mess this up, but with the,
We want to do a picture.
okay, absolutely. Congratulations. Third place, and taking home $250 prize, Sophia O'Hari. And second place, receiving a prize of $500, goes to Leah Dykstra. Deductive reasoning. And in first place, and taking home our grand prize of $1,000. Congratulations to Caitlin Fingerai.
Thanks to our visitors from Washington, D.C., and all of you who took the time to come and join us today, our judges, and especially these students. Congratulations to all. We will move this, and if you want to come down with your child and take pictures in front of it, please feel free to.